So this is the client, and I have also the server running in the background. This one also here. Now, well, last time we add rules, we change some configurations in our server. Now we will continue. What? Wait lang, ganun. Now, what if you are going to add a new rules? Ouch. What? Salamanda? Yush. Okay, Manasero? Okay, here. So when you run your server, you will run the server manager. So mostly when you turn on your server, it will automatically run the server manager. So this is the face that you can see mo nimo makita nimo sa imong server nimo. Uh, sige, change. So yung ani og forma. Okay? Now, if you if you want to add rules, you simply go to add rules and features. In our discussion last time, we add the Active Directory, and automatically also it add the file storage services. Now, what if we are going to add a new rules? So there are two ways you can add rules. You can either click this one, or you can have also manage then add rules. Uh, you can click the manage then add rules, and we have here add rules also here. Now, last time we used this one, so maybe this time we will use this. Now, uh, this is on how to add another rules. We are going to add domain name server or the DNS because we will need that one. Similar in our previous discussion, you just click next, then role base, similar lang gyapon. Then, if you notice, the name of our server is test server. I changed this one and also the IP address. On how to do that, last time, di ba, I told you, wait lang, kaya sud. Ouch. Wait lang, kaya sud. Ano to? So last time, um, we have we have to click this, and we have here the information of our server. So here, I changed the name. I changed the name of the server, and also I have also changed the IP address of the server. Now, maybe the basic thing first you need to do, or we need to check, is this one. Uh, you Since we are creating a network or a virtual network, we need to put it in another network aside. What I did is I put the VM server and the VM client in one network. If you notice in the configuration or settings for our virtual machine, I put their Wi-Fi. The network, I put their Wi-Fi. The same goes also for client. I put their Wi-Fi. Therefore, the it uses a bridge connection, and it uses the Wi-Fi port. So meaning I have connected my Wi-Fi here to a, router, and the business ID is called class. So akong gi-connect ang akong Wi-Fi dinhi, and every time I'm going to use the virtual client or the VM machine for Win server and Win client, it will automatically get its IP from the Wi-Fi port dinhi sa atong Wi-Fi dinhi in our class. I have a router here. Kung idalang usa ka router, then this router will give IP address. Now, if you check the IP address of this machine, kaning atong local server, it has this IP address. So to configure, last time I told you already how. You just click on this, and it will open. While it open, ato sang i-check tong kinsa tong mosulod. So from here, you just double right click, then properties. Then you can see the IPv4. Just look for IPv4 in properties. Then you have this. Now, the default gateway is the IP address of our router. And for the DNS, I just put there one for now because we never set up yet the DNS. But after setting up the DNS, kung set up the DNS, in our client, instead of one, we will put it into the IP address of our server. But for now, adto lang siya may kuha tayo sa one lang ani sa iyang default gateway. Okay? So this is the setup for our server. This is the IP address, it's local. This is the subnet, and this is the default gateway. This is the address of our uh, router. For our DNS, we are getting from the router itself. For the client, because we will set up the DNS server, we will use the 250 because this is our IP address for the server. Okay? So mauni ang ato ang setup sa atong server last time. So I changed already the name. I make it into static, and this is the IP address. Now let's check our client. Atong i-check ato atong client. So this is our client. This is also connected to this Wi-Fi. To check sa iyang IP address, we just go to command prompt. Wait. Okay. So IP config. Now the IP address of this Win client. So we have your Win client. The IP address is this one, and it is 252. So 192.168.80.252. The default gateway is just the router. The subnet mask is just 255 because I am using parehas tanan gikan dinhi. So 255 tanan din na. Then only dinidapita mo vary. So kani siya 252 kani po diri mo vary. So mo na mean ang subnet mask. Um, Next is we need to check whether this client is connected to our server. Uh, in the IP address of our server, tong na-learn ganina, it is 50, 250, di ba? 250. So we need to check if connected ba ni siya sa tong client. Now, on how to do that, you can ping from your client, mo ping kasi mong client, ping kag 192.168.80.250. So now we are certain that they are on the same network and they are all connected. So this Win client is connected to our server by simply confirming it by using a ping. Now you can do it also vice versa. Pwede po kag-adto ka sa server itself mo ping. Pwede kag-adto ka sa server itself mo ping. So let's go to the server. Let's go to the server. Hold on. The IP address of our client is 192.168.80.252. Okay, it takes time. Okay. Request timeout. So, what it means, kung makakita gini mo ingani, it doesn't mean nga dili sila connected. Okay, dili sila connected. You notice that when we do it from the client itself, it is connected. Uh, what it means is that there is a possibility that the firewall on the other side, okay, on the firewall on the other side, is is um, the firewall on the client is activated for ping. So mo nang dili siya makakita. Kung dili gud siya makakita, not connected, it should be unreachable. Unreachable ang iyang i-display din ha. Okay. Ago din ako kagawas. Mo ay nakaapan na ni. Um, okay, hold on. Ay, wala na ako nakagawas. I hope makagawas kung balik ka ni. Oh, wait lang ha. Kaya ako sang i-shutdown, kaya murag wa ko kagawas. Mm, wait lang. Okay. Too much na kayo. Daghan na kayo. So I will just I will just set up my firewall para sa to ang ani dihin dapita. I will just din anapon makuan. Here, I'm just going to set up the firewall. So just go to firewall. Then in the firewall, we just go to we have advanced settings. Tanaw na to og nakuan ba? Then just look for uh, inbound. Padung sulod kaya di mo siya makita. Just look for printer, file printer. And since we are using IPv4, just look for uh, file and printer on your IPv4. Pangitaan na. Kani. So, kani siya. You can just enable this. Enable rules. Kana IPv4. Tanang IPv4, just enable it. Okay, last time, dili mo ta maka-connect niya. So, maybe this one is not enabled. So, the inbound rules, mo-connect niya, wala niya ga-enable. So, ito lang i-enable na siya. Just going to close this. And, dili na pag ko kagawas. Uya, uya, ning, wait lang ha. Ako na siyang i-shut down. And I will turn on everything. So now, what we did is we confirm if the two computers are connected, if the two virtual machines are connected. As I hope wala na mo suda para dili na ko mag-change og window para dili mo kuha ng atong virtual machine. I will restart the two. Okay. Now then we will check whether we could ping from our server and we could ping from our client, because last time we could ping only from the client but not from the server. So meaning the inbound rules for the firewall in our client is not open, or it's not enabled. Now maybe you will ask me, sir, nganong makaingon man ka sir nga um, katong ingon nga request timeout, uh, not necessarily nga dili sila connected, because if it is not connected, it will say unreachable. Okay, I will show it to you kung unsa kanang mga unreachable. I hope mo daligdagan. Sensya na mo sa mao gini mo ni sakit aning ang imuhang computer gamay og screen. Kay kinanglan nimo i-dakuon. Okay, let's go to our server. For server, if you happen to kanang primero nimo, you have here Control Alt Delete, and if you're using VirtualBox, delete ni siya mo work. Kung mga naka Control Alt Delete, you will do here input, then keyboard, this one, then usa ka maka sign in. Okay, then hopefully okay na siya. For our client, di ba last time iyang IP address is 250 to 252. We just ping right away from here para dali lang. Hindi tayo magkasog time. Um, Tong tingan dayon. Pasensya na kay nag-server dugay kayo. Ago. CMD. So we have ping 192.168.80.252. So now we can ping. So this is now coming from the server. We were able to ping. We were able to ping the client because we have already established the firewall connection. So ato ang enable ang iyahang IPv4 nga port para makalisten og ping. So pwede na ta makaping from the server. Now, since na nata sa server, mulargo na ta og add. We will just add a new feature. So last time we do this. Now we will do from here. So we add a new rules and features. We click next, then next. Then now this is the name of our server. So test server, just select that one, then click next. Then look for DNS. So we have here DNS server. Then add features. Then just click next. And then if you want to go through on what are being checked, pwede ra, tanawon nimo. Then just click next. Next again. Now we have here install. Wait after the installing, then you uh, you can now see the new rules for your server. Now, rules is the task for your server or the responsibility of your server. So, katong last time, ming add ta og active domain server. So, active ADS lang ato ang butang. Now, we put also the DNS. After the installation ani niya, our server is now ready to cater for active domain and for the domain server. The next step is for us to make our server as domain controller. So when we talk about domain controller, muak na gud siya as a server. Na gud siya client, pwede na ka magbutang og client and you can perform uh, the rules that we set here. For example, katong active domain na to, katong active directory o katong domain server. So, kung mahimo na siyang controller, pwede na siya makakontrol. This one is not yet a domain controller. We are only setting up the rules of our server. We mao pa to atong gibuhat. So we're just going to wait ani niya. Then ikahuman niya og install, mao tong mo proceed ka sa ah, katong domain controller. So once it's done, installation succeed on the test server. Just need to close. Now you will notice nga you have now the DNS here. Nakita na mo og DNS. Last time we don't have rules and features for our server. We only have EDS because last time we only add rules niya nga Active Directory. Now duha na kanina sila. Kani man to kani karon na nanay DNS. Now you see also kani siya. Di ba na nakita niyo diyan notification? So when you click on notification, maingon siya nga uh, post deployment. Configuration required Active Directory domain test server. Promote this server to a domain controller. So pwede ka mga na nga i-promote ni siya nimo as a domain controller because this one is just a post deployment configuration. After nimo pag-configure nimo, kung mo na kag post pag human nimo configure, di ba? Pag human, ba post postpartum pag human og panganap nga na. So post kani siya. So meaning the next step you will do is to make or promote this one into a domain controller. Himuon nimo og kanang domain controller. What if sir nakalimot ko kita ana niya sir? So click nimo og aning DNS ingan ana niya or dili ba sa EDS nimo makita nimo diri makita kaning more. So when you click more, okay, then you have your promote. Now, here, you notice nga there is no, muya mo siya ay, nagatawag na to, og caution. Kani, muya mo siya. And here, na ay siya caution. So, we need to uh, click on this and you can see more and you can promote this into a domain controller. So, mamihimo na gini siyang server nga doon na siya client nga itong pwede ibutang. So, this is the next step. Again, akong i-summarize tanan para maklaro na to. First is we set up our server. Atong gibutangan na to og mga rules. We put rules, the Active Directory and the DNS. Then after that, we change the name of our server. We change the name of our server. If you go to the dashboard, when you have your configure, we change the name of our server into test server. We change also the IP address into static. So kanina, nahimo na siyang static. And we make sure that this server is connected to a client. So na-connect din siya sa atong Win client ato ganina. And we check it by using ping. After that, the next step is for us to make this one into a domain controller. So let's proceed on making this one into a domain controller. We will promote this one. Then in the promote, we have here add domain controller on existing domain. So what it means is that there is an existing domain and you add this server, this test server into a domain controller. Wala pa man tay kanang existing nga domain. So mag-create ta o dili pud ta aning new domain on the existing forest because we don't have a forest yet. What we will do is to add a new forest. So when I say forest, this is where our object units are connected. So in this case, we will create a new forest, meaning katong atong Win client na to nga virtual machine ganina, katong atong usa ka client na to, anhin na to sila ibutang. Okay, so we will create a forest. So a forest is where our OU object units and the one who will control these OUs or object units is this server. So magamata na niya. Unsa may pangan, unsa may atong ipangan ani niya for our domain name para pangan sa atong server. Let's just call this test.local. Now, mas maayo nga atong pangan sa atong domain name is something that is unique. Pwede ra og kanang test.local, meaning we are referring to the name that is locally or nara dinhi wala dili outside, so within this network only. You can put another name but make sure nga dili mo parehas og mga domain name. For example, uh, mga nakag facebook.com. Facebook.com is a domain name. So domain name na siya and there is a corresponding IP address ana niya. Now ngano mang dili man pwede because if you type a URL sa imong ginsakupan within your forest, you type facebook.com madto sa imong server instead of going to the facebook.com nga web page. So as much as possible, it should be unique. So ang pinaka the best ana niya butangan nimo og local. So this one is I just put there test that local. Just click next. Here we have DNS and the global catalog. So these two are already checked. Now in this area here, unsa man ang naa sa imong forest nimo? Usually ang pinaka highest nga na din ha mao'y atong i-select. In this case, since we are using 2019, so ang ubos niya is 2016. Mao na nga ang pinaka-highest kay kani mga highest na to nga 2019. So you simply use 2016. What it means is that um, in your forest and in your level, in your domain function level, you can either have the services of a 2016 and 2016 nga server. So pwede ra. We can put a password. Now this password is in case something happens to your server and you want to recover ang imong server na mo, you can use this password. This is directory service restore mode. So if you want to restore your active directory, pwede ka mo gamit ani niya. So pwede ang password mo pareha sa imong um, user password nga administrator or pwede ra pog dili. What I did is parehas ra akong password para dili ako makalimot usa ra pod. And in case lahi akong password, I try to put it in kanang password nga storage. My password storage is just a simple file. I'll just put all the password there and username. So mao ra. In this test, this example, we just use password as password. So password datong gibutang. Next. Um, verification of safe mode password failed. Ay, sorry. Kin- Di siya musugot. Okay, I will change password. And ako sa change of password. Let's check kung musugot ba siya. Kung dili siya musugot, we have atong butangan, atong usubon og na ay capital letters, then numbers. So I'm going to use, okay. Now you have here a delegation. Just do not touch this one. Just click next on here. Now on the NetBIOS password, this is assigned for our domain name. After mo kuha na sa din ato lang pangalan o just test lang atong ipangalan niya. So actually, it will just get the name from our domain name ganina. Katong test.local. So test na din ayang gisuwat po niya. You can change it into another, but just make sure nga you know the name. For here, para we have kanang simplicity, ato lang ipingan as test. This one is from the domain name nga itong gigama katong test.local. After that, you just click next. Then this is where our databases asan to i-save ang atong mga for example database folder, it will be saved onto this folder. Ang log files ani i-save and so on. So here ani nimo ibutang nimo ang imong mga uh, folders. You can actually create or pwede kag asa na ibutang. But for now, you just use the default location for the folders. Actually pwede ka maka-adjust or asan mo gusto nimo ibutang. But for now, it's just for the illustration, so you can just use the default one. Then you can browse, you can check kung sakto ba tanan ning magpangsuwat din namin. Kung siya dinhi nga mao ni ang pangantes dinhi, then global yes, DNS yes, delegation no. Then these are the folders kana sulod niya. And if it looks good, kung okay ra na siya, then you just proceed to next. And we have to wait until it's all done. And if ever there are kaning ingani mga precaution niya or for example this one here, doon na yung mga precaution, you can just actually read. Imo rang basahon. Yeah. This is just a precaution. It doesn't mean nga wala being successful lang atong pag-create or to make our server as a domain controller. In fact, iingon siya nga all prerequisite check pass successfully. Click install to begin installation. Now, here, imong anong tanawon mo nga unsa man na sila. You can just browse this and check kung unsa may mga gipanghatag niya as precaution. And if it is only ingani, okay lang. If it is red din plus ganina katong password na to, red, meaning all the prerequisite doesn't pass. So dili ka pwede maka-proceed sa installation. So in this case, pwede laging naon nimo, then tanawon ni basahon nga ano na siya. And if you want to know about the prerequisites, then mao lang gyapon imong i-click lang. Na maybe mga sir nganong kilang naman ito nabasahon because there are some information that needed. O napoy ubang information nga dili kayo needed, so pwede ra skip nimo. As much as possible starting maybe today, makakita gani mo na yung mga precaution, basahaw na ninyo. Bahala gagmay na siya kayo. Kay basig importante dito niya. Wala din mo di solve ang iyang precaution niya. Then we just click install. Then we have to wait until it's done. Then once it's done, the next step is we will create a user. Now, maybe you will ask, sir, anong mo create pa man tag user? Nga na naman tayo user aning nga server. Now, we will create another user. This user will be an administrator. In case something happens to our server, at least we have two kabuk ang atong administrator. The administrator and another user that has an administrator rules or rights. And this also similar in adding user for your forest. Di ba katong forest katong ingong kunyo nga mo ni sila'y kontrolon sa atong domain controller. So pwede po ka mag-create o user para sa imong forest nimo. So pwede ka mag-create pwede ra ka og kanang standard or administrator. And that would be our next after NNA. So it's this computer is being started because activity service is installed or removed. Now, kay pwede man din siya, so we need just to restart din siya. Then, while it's restarting, dili na po ta kagawas. Anyway, ato lang, I hope makagawas na yush. Uy, yan yung, let's just wait until it's done. Then we will try to check what are the changes niya after making it as a controller. Para natin makitaan nga sa mayang changes. Since naglasa kay murag hinay siya, dili kayo paspas. This is due to the fact that my computer is only core to duo. Duha ka microprocessor. Um, so wait lang. Sa baliko na to sa itong while we are waiting, so we're going to have a summary of what we did. We install a new rules. After installing the new rules, the rules that we installed or rules and features that we installed is the DNS. After that, we created ago, di ko kagawas. Mauna ni siya. Ago. Wait lang control alt. Control alt.
Sir,
Yes.
kanang left command plus F ang pagtagol sa full screen sa VirtualBox, sir.
Command F.
Left command F.
Ah, Command F. Okay, hold on Control F. Dili. Dili siya work sa ko Kuhaan mo
Left
ganun.
command, sir.
Ha?
Left nga command.
Left nga command. Okay, left command then F. Dili gyapon. Dili mo work sa ko Kuhaan mo ganing ako Mac mo ganing ako Ang iyang command din is lahira sa kuan. Mo para sa iyang full screen ba? Agka. Naa mo gugo sa environment sa kuan gud virtual box mo nang Di ko makagawas niya. Dili good siya. Oh. Function. Ah, okay, dara. Tama to. Wait, dara. Virtual box. Save as man. Snapshot po. Gah. Ah, dara. Ako sa off ha. Wait lang. Wait lang gid kayo. Mo naka-uppan na ning akong virtual box. Okay, wait. Sang full screen. We have scale to 100%. Full screen is host plus F. Isuda ka dyan. Host
Ang
eh.
host F ang host F asa ka left command.
Ako tingnan na. Left command then F. Left command. So mo work siya. Da? Na dili siya work o na. Really good job. Og na dito niya mismo, pwede ra left command F. But if makakuha na ka, dili mo siya mo work basta maabot na itong part. Anyway, we're just going to start our server again. Hopefully ato lang gagmayon ngayon para dili ta kuan. Kani gagmayon nato ni daan. Now, while restarting, I will just go inside this because our next would be we are going to connect this client to our domain controller. So after we set up our domain controller, we need to connect this to our server. Mao ni atong sunod na to. Atong sang i-connect. So for now, we're just going to wait for the server. Once it started, then we will check what are the changes. Then after that, we will add user, atong himuon na to nga administrator or dili siya administrator. Then, ang sunod na to would be for our client nga to connect to our server. So mo na atong sunod. Again, ato sang huwaton siya para atong i-check what are the changes after adding the DNS and after making it as a as a host or as a domain controller. Now, you will notice nga sa imong login screen nimo doon na nakay pangan sa imong server katong domain. So test administrator, 'di ba? We have other user also. We have other user and test administrator. Now, it means, kung makakita gani kay ingani, it means to say that this computer now is a domain controller or this computer is connected to a domain controller. Not necessarily nga kani siya mao ang domain controller. But since this is a server, so there's a possibility that this is also a domain controller. Basta kay kung makakita kag ingani, nga na, meaning you are now a domain controller. So you have now a forest nga pwede nimo kontrolon. Kaya nahimo na kang domain controller. So here, we're just going to provide for our password. Yeah, password. So mo to you first na to nga nakita nga changes. Last time, we have only administrator. We don't get the domain name. Wala na to nakita ang domain name. And let's wait for the server manager to come up. Then let's check. Kung makakita mo ingani, hilason ning kaning server. May mungutan siya nga nganong na shutdown to. Because server supposedly dili ni mo kalingaw i-shutdown ang server, dili ni mo kalingaw i-restart. server must be online all the times as much as possible. Just need to wait until all the services is being populated. Once it's done, we can just go right away. Atong tanawon na to kung unsa na siya unsay netabo ani niya. You notice here, this is now become test local. So meaning, this now is the domain na connected siya sa test local. Nasabtan? So nana siya ani sa test local. Last time, it is just work group. Na siya sa work group. Now, we have now in the test locals. Then, okay. So, next thing we'll do is to add users. Wait lang, kanina pa yung suod. Asa man to? Wala. We have here. So we are going to add new user. Now, the reason why we need to add new user is that um, this user will be used inside our forest. So pwede sa makagamit ana niya. And this is a common practice. You need to have another administrator para sa imong server. At least katong administrator nga user nimo katong paglagi na to ganina, that is your murag root user kintahay kung mogamit ka sa Linux. So pwede ka mo create og another user. Na it takes times kung mulod sa mga rules, but anyway, ning load na. So to create or to create another user, you just go to tools, then you have here for computer management. In the computer management, you just go to users, then in the users, we have here um, system, we have uh, a disk, sorry, we have shared, hold on, device manager, we have storage, services application. Hold on ah. Kaya murag, we have tools. Then in the tools, if you have here computer management, then you can have add users in our services application. Oh no, it should it should be in asa mo to ngayang users na yan? Ano mo yung users? Subsequently, when you click there should be a user folders. Anyway, we can add user here in our Active Directory. Tools, computer management. Let's take a look. Wala gyapon. Let's check ha. What's lang ha. About in our DNS. Because DNS is just this. Supposedly, when you go to your tools, then management, computer management, you can have that for we can check with group management policy kung mo work ba siya. Group policy management. Okay, hold on. Wala forest naman ang locals, domain sites, groups, domains na siya. So supposedly kani kung mag-create na taga tong bagong mga OUs. But for user itself lang, user lang unta atong ganahan. Wait lang. Uh, Supposedly when you click We have manage. No, it should be here. Tools. Then computer management. From there, we can add users. So let's check. Tanaw na to. Pwede ba ta? Sessions. Um, we have device. No. Desk management. Wala good siya. Oh. Services and application. Okay, custom viewers. It's not here. Okay, anyway, um, we can do it also from here, users. So here, now in our users, again, in our users here, um, you can have a lot of users. Can you see? Once we created the Active Directory, so daghan na kung sa imong mga users nimo. Ana. Then we can add new user. You simply click on this one, create for new users. So create mo new users, just put there the name. Name, then unsay ihang log on niya, then it should be log on this one. So let's say we have test, okay, TU lang, T user, okay? T user, then our T user, this is um, the Pitra. So user logon, but sa support her T user, ano lang, T user lang. Then just click next. Then password, we just put here password. And we just put here password. Password. So, you can either change or pwede siya maka-change in the next logon or you can simply put kana, di siya pwede ma-change. Or pwede po yung mga i-click og change. For now, I just going to put there nga dili na to i-change ang password niya. Just click next. Then we have here uh, because the password does not meet the password policy. Yan ang iyang password ay. Password 123. Password 123. Di gapon butangan na pug dako. Okay, capital P, capital P. So we have now this one, test user. If we're going to double click this is our test user. It is under the test dot local. So pwede ka mo na ka ang display name niya is uh, T user Petra. Pwede atong kuhaon ni para T user lang tanan. We're just going to apply and we're just going to remove the Petra para usara. Okay. So that's it. Then we have click OK. So now we added a user. Now this one is actually not an administrator. Now we will use this to log in to from our client. Pwede po himuon to ng administrator. But for now, dili sa nato himuon nga administrator. And to make it into administrator, just click on properties. Then you can change it kung unsay imong gusto nimo siya. Member of, kana, asa siya nga member nga domain. And tanang nga mga unsay gusto na to sa atong account. But for now, we just move it as like that. Uh, so we just close this one. Okay. Let's go to our client. We will connect our client to our domain controller. Maturo sa itong client. This is our client. This is our client. So we need to connect our client to our domain controller. There are um, there are ways the kan pamaagi adto niya the the I think I in our LMS akong gipakita dito on how you're going to do it. We can just do it by simply going to settings. Then the settings we have here system about hold on. Just need to check. Okay, here. So if you notice, it is connected on this one work group. It is not connected yet on a domain. So may makita ninyo nga naa siya sa work group, dili pa siya domain. Now you can change also the name of our computer para sa yon lang kayo. This is the best way ani niya is you need to change your name of the computer para kung mag-manage na ka at least makibaw ka kinsa ni nga computer. So this one, we are going to change it, and we are going also to change our domain, or we need to connect it into a domain. So just click on change. Then for our domain kanisiya, pwede nimo i-change. We have here to rename this computer or change its domain or work group, click change. So kaniya tong i-click. Now for our computer name, ato lang butangan ni siya og butang ta og client 1. O sa may itong client. So domain. In a domain, we simply type the domain. So test mo to itong domain, no? Test. We just press OK. Just wait. Then it will ask for a password. Now this password is the administrator of our domain controller. So since we only have one administrator, katulang administrator, so we just type their administrator, then our password, click OK. Then after anania, it will ask you to restart. Okay, mo ask mo siya nga i-restart ang imong machine. Then we just need to restart. Then we need to use two users na mo login ani niya nga machine using the administrator katong sa test na tong administrator o katong user kato betong test user na to nga dili administrator. So atong testingan login katong una katong administrator sunod katong test. Ini kahuman niya. Wait lang. Oh, it's not connected. Sure ba? Oh, no internet today. Sabi na. So just wait. What lang ta? During the main test, Spider-Man does not exist. Ano man, di ba mo ka nakita? Ah, oh, di lagi. Ingon lagi ko nga test ra. Kung anong di man siya kakita nga administrator para sureball a password. Password. 1, 2, 3. Gaya eh. Okay, hold on. Just going to wait. Dugaya man siya kasulod. Win server. Nagdagan man ang win server. Attempting to join the domain test. The specified domain either does not exist or could not be contacted. Ano man, dili man in tawon. Um, administrator. Ang password. Password. So nakakita na gud siya niyo, ingon siya kana. Then ganong dili man. Uh, so just tanaw naman ako ben. Oops. Let's check. Aman to. Wait lang ah. Di mo. This one. Wait. Wagid siya. Okay. Um, the following error attempting to join the domain test, the specified domain either does not exist or could not be contacted. Okay, let's double check first. But this is we already have this. Let's check lang ah. So it checks yeah. So we have a test local. So this is our um DNS test server domain name. Okay, let's check kung atong ibutangan niya nga configure. We have test server. Ang domain niya is test.local. So test.local ra. Ang description niya is test server. Ang domain niya is test.local. Test.local. So, tanaw to ang change. Okay. Test.local. So, we will try sa ato ang PCAS, test.local, atong check. Ago! Ago ah! Oh, hold. Wait lang ah. Kadili na po ko kagawas. Hold on. Gadget lang ah. Wala po daw. Okay, by the way, the on how to join, that is on how to join, you just need to go to the system information of your client, then just click change name and go to domain and make sure to write the domain. In our domain, we have it's called test. So supposedly, mo join ang ta sila go atong sa atong domain test. Just put their test, but wala man siya nagka-join. So this is going to check nga nung wala. We check our server and it has the name. And atong i-check ang iyang network kung parehas ba sila og network. We check already also last time. Nanasad na dili na pag ko kagawasan eh. So kani round ta automatic round ta na siya mo work round sa largo. But unfortunately wala sending work. Let's let's check again. Sang i-on sa tong server. I'm sorry nga um nainganig la sa because this is very difficult because we am using the virtual machine. Dami yung gadutog dili pa virtual machine. Okay. While we are restarting this, maybe we will test our user, katubad ang user na tong account instead of administrator. We just use user kung tanaw to og maka-login ba siya ni. Also, once this one is connected, we can use the test, katubad ang test user na to, T user, to log in. But here, atong i-try, nga we add a user nga katong T user. That is a standard user. So atong tanawon kung makasud ba siya ni. We already tested katong sa ato ang administrator. So now we will test also katong atong ginama nga user. Here, instead of kani, test administrator, you can have other user. Then mo na ka din na og um, test slash katong T user, T user. So you have here sign into test, diba? So mo na sign into test. This is our domain. Now we have our password. Wait, no, hold on. The sign-in method you are trying to use isn't allowed. For more info, contact. Okay, so this user have no rights to log into our server. So kani nga user is just a standard user. So dili pwede, not unless it is an administrator. So let's check here. Nato sang i-connect lang sa Picast para mo check ta. Okay. Gusto na kong connect kina sila para administrator. Then password. Password. 1, 2, 3. Awa na to. Kasi nagduwa sila na-connect sa. Oh, mga manon, naraman dali. Same network naman doon siya. Bridge o connected na gapon. And in case dili ni siya class, basta kay ingani ang procedure. So ako lang i-double check in case mahutan tag time ani niya. Ako nga lang i-double check. nganong dili siya mo connect diri sa atong server. Uh, kay dili man gyud oh. Dili gud siya or could not be contacted. So meaning there is an error here kani dinhi being attempts here, but this one is correct because we have this test local, this is in the domain na siya, nasa sa test local nga domain. And in here, we are using the domain test. So pwede dito na siya mo connect adto niya. Um, for now, ato sa ko nag tagatagsaon ko no. For now, we just can the client base no dili siya gusto. Client 1. Okay. Then it's going to restart. Then we need to change again for the domain. Ako sang i-change base no dili siya musugot for the name niya. But it should be private ang firewall. Okay. And this one is 250. Um, once this is connected to a domain, you will see changes on the login screen. Pareha sa tuwang server, you can see the changes right away. So for now, because this one is not connected yet to our server, so di pa na to makita ang iyang changes. Wait lang ha. Ah, kinata na sayop pa data sayop. Sorry, sayop pa ta. Now, we will check our IP address. Atong tawag na to IP address. Wait lang ha. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3 ra din eh. Ouch! We will change first our IP address. Katong tanong to sa ito yung IP address because we are going to go to a domain adto na to pamagihon na to dito instead of this one. Let's check ha. Ito to sa IP address tanaw na to. Then we will go from there. Adto na to i-change. Ang here niya kanit siya nga to ang IP ani niya instead of 11 we will make it into ouch naya. We go to here properties okay, so this one would be our 192.168.80.250. Tumudahin mo din 250. 250. Use the domain server address 250. Close. Now here we go to go hinay na po din kayo mo response. Mas pa response lang nila. We go to network. Sa totoong network, change connection properties. Ano to? Okay. Let's have these properties. Then IPv4 properties. Um, obtain ang DN. Okay, obtain DNS manually. We have here 250. Those. Then we need to connect to our server home the system. We have about change this one. Change domain test. Okay. Administrator password. Di gulo. Siguro yung firewall na nila. Saan nakakuha niya? Okay. So, we are now in our test domain. Okay na siya. Then, um, what we did is we changed our IP address itong sa IP address na to sa atong server because the domain name niya dito is nahimong delete 250, so I just changed that one. Then in here also I put there the 250 for the DNS adto siya mo connect sa 250 instead of 1 because last time it was a router nga IP address. But since we will use the DNS for ano niya, we will use the 250 nga address. Kung mga kung 250, I'm referring to katapusan ha, para dali rata. So now we are connected. So atong i-close, we will restart our client. Then we'll check the changes niya. So now ito ang iyang changes. I told you last time that if you are connected to a domain, your login screen will be different. Doon na ito yung lain nga user, makakita ka. And also, there's a specification kung asa ka mo login, asa ka nga domain. Nung ano man na, sir, because there is a possibility that your computer is connected to different domain controller. So inside a forest, sa mga forest, in a forest, daghan ang domain controller. But in a smaller setup, usa lagi na siya. One domain controller, usa ra pud ang yang forest niya. So kita mo na nanan sa dinhi ingani. Now this is the local nga user. Now if we want to use katong sa sorry, other user. So we have here sign in to test because we are in the domain. So unahon na tong suwat ang test, mga naka-test, followed by a user in the test. We put here T user, katong sa ito Ginama na to. And this one is password 123. Now, we never created a user here. We simply create a user from our server, but we were able to log in. But this user is just a standard nga user na siya. Dili siya pang administrator. Now, you notice that we never created a user in the client. Sa client mismo, nawa, mapipagsugod niya, hi, and so on. Yan na. Then, when we add user also, we never put there that he can change the password. Diba? So, dili ma-change niya ang password. So every time you are going to create a user o niya, first time pa niya may login na niya, nga ni, mura pag kang maumay pagsugod ni mo login sa mukhang ginama nga Windows or setup ni mga Windows. So that is it for our topic this morning. So to summarize, unya ato lang ako insulted din ako sa akong go through nato wait lang. Okay, so to summarize this morning, what we did is we add a new rules. We add DNS as a rule for our server. After adding the rules of our server, we make our server a domain controller. So after making it a domain controller, we add another user. Now, if it is vice versa, nag-una nimo ang imuhang add user, pwede ra kato sa computer management. Kita katong ganina, computer management, then you can add a new user. But in this case, nag-una man tao making it as a domain controller, mo tang niagit ta sa users. So I'm just going to uh, just going to go to the server para atong i-demonstrate kung sa atong gibuhat. Okay, here. So first is what we did is we add a new rules. Pag add na new rules, we add the DNS. In adding the DNS, we just make everything that is okay na tanan niya. For example, katong dunay the name of the server na to or our domain. We just put there test.local. Okay. Then also in our um, tools, you can have the computer management, then you can add the user. But nabali mo atong ganina, what I did is ning diri ko this is what we did. May nga naalala ko din na user, you type user, then this one will use dili mao dili mao ang atong this one is not the dili ni mao gatong wait lang. Dili ni mao gato ang server. This is not the server. Dara. Dara. Sorry. Okay. So ako lang i-minimize ni kung so ako lang i-minimize. Then what we did, kung makikita gid mo ingani because once we shut down our computer is unplanned. So what we did is ingana, then type ko user, then just wait, then you will get their user kani. Then after that, we put users. But don't worry, we will have another session for this one. We will create all OUs for users. Then just go to users. Then we add the users that we add is kani siya nga Petra. Kana. Now, in our Petra, you notice nga wala tay option na to nga ingon nga pwede siya mo change siyang account or siyang password, di ba? Now here, pwede ka maingon nga maka-change kag password niya. So in the next logon, the user must change the password. So imo siya giingnan nga pag-change og password nagsunod nimo. Or you can put here also nga never expire yung password. Or even here, mo lock ka siyang account. Like dili nimo gamito na yung account. So pwede ra natanan din we will talk more on this kung mag-add na tag mga OUs, mga object units. But for now, kato sa lang sa so, pag-add sa user. Then after that, after checking, this one also kindly check this one because last time I never checked this. Then now ito yung naka-problema tagamay. This one we need to check for our IP configuration. So we just go to local server. Then here, kanisiya, because once you add the DNS, add mo DNS, ang default ani niya din hidapita will be changed. Di ba last time kaya itong i-change man to 1 because I'm referring to default gateway katong ato ang IP address for our router. But since this becomes a DNS, so kinanglan 250. Anong 250 man? This is his IP. Mao man yang IP niya, IP address niya 250. So mga kung giusab na 250, this is all the DNS na nara niya. Then after changing that one, you go to your client. Ingat to sa imong client. Yes. Adyo ka na nga na pa pwede pa. Ouch. Um, go to your client, and in your client, you have, dili lang ko ta mag-agi eh. In your client, go to the settings para niya. Then in your settings niyo, um, change also the IP address and katong sa iyang domain nga ihang gusto niya sudlan. Um, okay. Now, because test is just an standard user, so you need to create an network administrator. So in this case, we have here administrator, then password. 1, 2, 3. Ah, siya na. Yeah, yes. Okay. So we can make changes now. So make sure nga kani siya, it should be pointing to the IP address of our server. Kuha? Kani pointing to our IP address. This one here is just DHCP obtained automatically. So no need for you to change anything here. Kani lang para kung mga naka-obtain din is server address manually, automatically, pwede rapod. But this one is you need to specify asa. Why man? There's a possibility nga daghan kayong DNS sa imong forest. So at least, ma-specify ni mga asa siya na belong. So after ana niya, you just go to um, you have go to system preferences. Pwede good ka ng my computer din, right click ninyo then properties na ran na dito. But in Windows 10, pwede raw mo type nimo din mo search or kani akong uh, system info. Then in the system info, just go to kaning din dapita. This is the domain name ang tanan. You're just going to click this. Now you notice nga the client, this is the name of the computer and it is located or connected to our domain test local. We have here domain test local. So to change, just click this. Then again, we have don't have administrator right, so we have administrator password 123. Then you can change. Then can you see? Then you just have to change. Then that's it. So once it is last time we only put their test, but actually once it is connected niya, makakonect siya dito, automatic siya change siya kagalingon test local. Or you just use the test. Kung nakalimot ka unsay may dot niya, pwede ra. Pero itong ganina, itong gi-change nga test niya, test.local, wala good because the IP address is wala na mao. Mao itong gi-change. So now, you are certain now you are connected na niya. Then, for example, you want to know kung kinsa may nakakonect ani niya. Let's go to the command cmd and you just type who am I. So here, you are connected to the domain names test and your user is T user. So kung makanha mo sa inyong computer, mga na mag who am I, makibaw siya nga wala di ka naka-connect sa usa ka domain. Okay? So for now, that's it. Then we will talk more on manipulating OUs, katong mga object units, katong mga computer, mga user na itong i-connect. Sorry kung doon yung mga hiccups gamay. And lisod mo ganang virtual lang. But anyway, we were able to connect our clients to our server. Thank you everyone for listening and sorry nga may lapas na gamay. Okay? Don't forget to put present para sa inyong attendance.
Bye, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.